Hey guys, welcome back to what was actually an unplanned break from me making videos for this channel. Basically what happened was my life got incredibly overwhelming and a lot of shit happened, and I filmed an entire video 3 times, and all 3 times things went wrong and I ended up just wanting to punt my camera off the nearest cliff. And basically trying to make a video was adding to my stress when I had started this channel for fun. So to drop. So today we are going to talk about the streak. I generally don't run at all in January or February. I just take those 2 whole months off because of who I am as a person. So this year in 2020 was the first year that I actually ran those months like really at all, let alone with any consistency. So I worked at Elizabeth Fry, so that means that I worked a lot of shift work. I would do fast turnarounds, I would be at work until 11 p.m. at night and running around the radar base after work, where there was actually a bobcat sighted, but when your shift is over at 11:15 and you have to run at least a mile before midnight, you don't exactly have time to drive somewhere where there are not bobcat sightings to get your mile in, so you just sort of bang it out regardless. So a lot of times I've kind of played with fire in terms of my streak, like I've waited until dangerously close at night. A few times my streak has only survived because my boyfriend Garrett has actually woken me up out of a dead sleep and been like, hey, it's 10:30 p.m. at night, you should go for a run if you want your streak to keep lasting. And I was like, oh, okay. But I would never have woken up on my own. So shout out to Garrett for being the real MVP and keeping me running. And also I have a run coach. I've mentioned him before. I have really been shitting the bed at following any kind of programming he puts in place for me just because of the stress of my life. And just getting out for my streak and keeping that alive feels like a big enough accomplishment for me at the moment. So I found having a run coach though really holds me accountable because again, I am a really lazy runner. So having someone who is going to kind of like check in on me and be like, why are you such a garbage human? You haven't followed literally anything that I've given you, which he's never actually said because he's incredibly nice, but I am certain that a few times he has at least thought it to himself. But knowing that there was someone who was kind of checking my progress there for a little bit really did help keep me accountable. But because of who I am as a person, I love my run watch. I've said in other videos, like the one I just did, that while it's not essential, I highly recommend having a run watch of some kind. So I have this run watch. It's the Phoenix Garmin, or the Garmin Phoenix, I guess, 5, 3, I don't know. It's the one that's not the newest one. So whatever one that is, that's what one this is. I love this watch. I basically wear it 24/7 and only take it off to charge it. It is currently dirty as hell because Reginald and I just ran a mud run that resulted in like a lot of mud existing all over us, including my watch and my sunglasses. But I love this watch. Having said that, there was a lot of pressure on me around the run streak. It wasn't actually the run streak itself, but it was kind of like all of the pressures that existed in my regular life and then having to run on top of it. So a few weeks ago, my run watch actually died and I made the conscious decision not to charge it. It died and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it dead to let it think about its life choices. And I had a really good reason for doing that. My run watch also has a daily step goal on it. So if you meet your step goal, then the next day you have to get like a higher goal, and if you don't meet it, your step goal drops. And just because of everything in my life, I was not even coming close to meeting my step goals. So every single day at 12 a.m., my step goal would reset and it would drop lower and lower and lower. And every single time that I didn't meet my step goal, it was just like defeating me further and further and further. So I knew that removing the watch and removing that not making step goal failure from me would actually remove a lot of pressure, which I know sounds crazy to some people, but actually it worked for me. So this is something that's really different for every person. For me, waking up every single morning and seeing that the step goal had dropped lower yet again, and I had another blue bar, which means that I was unsuccessful instead of a green bar, was just like something that I constantly thought about. I know that I sound like a crazy person right now, but I think what I'm trying to get across is that for me, everything kind of piling on top of me, so like my coach expecting a certain daily mileage, my run watch saying like you're not even meeting your bare minimum step goals per day, and then the general stress of my outside life kind of piled on to where I got to a point for a little while where I didn't actually like my streak and I contemplated giving it up. I'm really glad that I didn't follow through with that and that I did actually keep the streak alive. But there are times where you have to manage your expectations about what you can accomplish. So last summer into the winter basically, so for a solid 6 months, I was averaging about 75 kilometers a week, which isn't really high mileage, but when you consider that like since March or February of this year, I've only been averaging 1 mile a day, so 7 miles, which is just slightly over 10K a week. That's a really big difference. My mileage right now is really crappy. And again, I haven't been tracking it because my run watch has been uncharged until this afternoon. But when you're running, it's important that you see the streak for what it is. Sometimes it's great and it's gonna make you faster and you're just gonna run all of the miles and you're gonna train for things. And then sometimes a pandemic happens and everything that you were planning on training for is canceled, including everything in the foreseeable future, and everything sucks and you lose all of your motivation. So I think the gist of this video is just that like a lot of times we see people with run streaks and we think like, oh my god, that's so cool, like they must love running, they get up every single day and they run at least a mile. And I am here to tell you that, friend, not all of us love running. In general, yes, I love running, or else I really wouldn't have run half of the things that I've run in my life. I do enjoy it as a general rule. I do not, however, enjoy every single day of my run streak. Some have been a struggle. I apologize for the noise in the background. Reginald found a squeaky ball and he is squeaky balling to hell. But really, if you're interested in streaking at all, I say go for it. I hated my streak for a solid month and a half. Not every single day, but it was definitely a chore to put on run shoes and go. In fact, a lot of times I didn't put on run shoes. I either ran in these or these, because that's where I was at in my life and that was the best that I could do. Because I didn't want wet feet and I didn't want to have to dry out run shoes, and I knew I was only going a mile, at the most 2.5K with Garrett anyways, so what difference did it make what I wore on my feet? So yeah, I just want people to maybe who are maybe like considering starting a streak to be aware that it's not always sunshine and rainbows. A lot of times the streak is an actual struggle. I don't know if it is for everyone. If you are a streak runner and you've had a totally different experience, maybe let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, the streak has had many ups and downs and many different feelings involved with it. But once you get past a certain amount of days, you're just kind of invested in it. So for me, it was day 92. At day 92, I was like, you know what? I love this streak. I really love it. Like, I'm super attached. I don't know why it was day 92 for me. I just remember on day 92 lacing up my shoes and getting ready to go out for a run and thinking, yeah, I'm probably like not going to quit this streak anytime in the near future unless I'm forced to. And then shortly after that, I broke my toe, and my run for that day was a 15-kilometer long run. And I just taped my broken toe to my other toe and then ran on a broken toe for like a lot of months. And that's when I knew I was really committed to the run streak. And now something major would have to happen to make me stop, because I don't really foresee another future where I run 428 days in a row if I have to start from scratch. So that's my experience in terms of keeping a run streak alive. It hasn't always been easy. Like I've mentioned, it's been a lot of a struggle. I worked full-time and went to school full-time for the last year. And also on top of that, had 2 pointers that I kind of had to keep exercised, a house and a partner, and all of those expectations plus running at least a mile every day. So it was a lot to manage. But the other side of that is that it has taught me many time management skills, which most importantly might be that if you know how long it takes you to run a mile, so for me, I can run a mile like if I need to in like 7 minutes if I need to bang out a fast mile. So if you know your fastest ability to run a mile, then you can wait until like 3 minutes, like your mile time plus 3 minutes before you go for a run. So a few times I've started my run at like 10:50 p.m. or not 10:50, that would be like super early. A few times I've started my mile runs at like 11:50 p.m. and finished them at like 11:58, which I don't fully recommend doing, but also if you're a procrastinator, it is a really good life tip. If you guys have any questions specifically about run streaking or anything like that, let me know and I'll see if I can answer those questions. Penny, stop. And I'll see if I can answer those questions. But overall, that is everything for today. So thanks guys, and hopefully I will not have to wait a week and a half before filming my next video. So yeah, let me know if there's anything you want to know specifically, and that's it for me. So thanks guys. Bye.